As a child, I spent many hours tinkering in my father's workshop. And the way I often tell what a student or a person's vocation might be is what they do in their spare time. And in my spare time, I spent a lot of time building things from wood and metal. It began with small things. I built my sister a sewing machine out of wood. It didn't work, but it had all these components and so on. I progressed into mini bikes and go-karts and had this insatiable desire to create and build. When I approached college age and was asked what I would study, I said I wanted to be an inventor. Most people told me to pursue mechanical engineering, which is a common avenue for inventors. Engineering was a little too technical for me, a little too stifling. I wanted something more creative. I found industrial design, which is a fantastic mixture of art and technology, of poetry and science. There essentially needs to be a new relationship between commerce and nature. The way we've done things in the past just aren't working. We're consuming more than we're replenishing. The resources that the earth has to offer, such as water and air, etc., are diminishing quickly and not being restored at a fast enough rate to make this earth sustainable. The earth is also a living system, and in that system there are cycles, and we need to figure out how to plug our technical and business world into those natural cycles so that we can live harmoniously with the earth. There's also a concept that I think is very important in sustainability, and that is the concept of waste equals food. In nature, a tree will grow and it will disperse nuts and leaves will fall off. Eventually the tree will die, but all those materials, the nuts for example, serve as food for animals in that ecosystem. The leaves act as mulch for the soil, and eventually the tree, as it composts, will again add nutrients for other living things to grow in that spot. We have long lived with the philosophy of cradle to grave. What that means is when we design or create products for mass consumption, they usually end with the death of the product, which sometimes is landfilled, sometimes incinerated. We need to rethink that to a cradle-to-cradle system wherein a product, after its useful life is over, can continue again, either through recycling or through biological composting, but again become nutrients for the next wave of products. I'd also like to talk about growth. In nature, growth is good. And in our technical and business world, growth can be good as well. But the question is, what do we want to grow? Do we want to grow sickness, or do we want to grow health? Do we want to grow prosperity or poverty? So it's a question of what we want to grow and how we grow it that will make a big difference in keeping in tune with nature's cyclical systems. Absolutely. I'll give you an example. In science, for example, biomimicry is exploding. And essentially biomimicry is innovation inspired by nature. Spiders, they essentially can weave a waterproof fiber that's 5 times stronger than steel. A leaf can take the sun's energy and convert that energy into fuel in a trillionth of a second. When we look at what animals do or what they eat when they're sick, we can learn a lot about new medicines.